What's up guys, it's Kara here, and for today's video I wanted to do another dietitian talk for you. I realize I am a day late because I had promised every Monday a dietitian talk, and I'm sorry I failed you on that promise, but I'm just a day late, and that's me, I'm late sometimes, so just keeping it consistent on my lateness. But for today's topic, we are going to talk about gut health in my inflammatory tip video. Many of you had commented that you were very interested on learning more about gut health. So I wanted to start off and do one kind of basic intro video on gut health. Gut health is a very complex topic. It's not very straightforward, and it's not something I can sit here and talk about for 10 to 20 minutes and kind of cover all the bases. There's so many different areas regarding the gut and how it impacts our health and our life, and there's several different diseases that are linked with gut health. So there's several other videos I could do in relation to this topic. So comment below after you watch this video if you want more specific topics on like specific disease states that have to do with gut health. Let me know. Comment below. Irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, leaky gut disease. There's just so many things related to gut health. So your gut is a critical component of your body. It really has some major functions in everyday life. I mean, digesting and making sure your body gets fed and absorbing the nutrients and deciding what's good, what's bad, what do I need to detoxify to help eliminate, if you know what I'm saying. There's so many important things that occur in our gut. And when I say gut, I'm talking about your large and small intestine. There's a lot of critical things that go down in the gut, you know, to keep it simple. So with those critical decisions that are happening on a day-to-day basis, it can really impact your health and your everyday quality of life, believe it or not. There's a lot of new research coming out on the gut. Like I said, it's not straightforward, and it's interesting to me because I'm going on almost 10 years out of college, and we didn't talk about it in this manner when I was in college. We talked about digestion, we talked about, you know, how we absorb, metabolize, you know, all the different cycles that occur in your body, but talking about, you know, your gut microbiome wasn't really something discussed as much 10 years ago, at least not at a student level. I believe research was being done, but there's still so much we're learning and we're finding out. One of the things I like to mention that we're just finding out more recently is your gut microbiome. And what I mean when I say that, in case you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, is really just thinking about all the millions and trillions, I believe, of bacteria that are contained in your gut. And there's good and bad, as you've heard, I'm sure. And about 90% of the bacteria that's in there is good. It's good bacteria that's helping to function the way we need it to function. And then there's about 10% of it is bad bacteria. And of course, that percentage can kind of go up and down a little bit based on you and what's going on in your body. But your gut microbiome, so it's comprised of all this bacteria, and essentially we want to have, like, best case scenario is having this like beautiful variety of all different kinds of bacteria in there, all the different strands of good bacteria. That is like goals right there, is having a bunch of different varieties of good bacteria in your gut. That is going to set you up in terms of your immunity and what your body can fight against, best case scenario. But your gut microbiome, we've found out most recently that actually starts when you're in the womb. When you're in the womb. So you need to call your mother right now and ask your mom what the heck she was eating when you were in there, because it's crazy, but the food choices that your mother was making when you were in the womb was transferred to you. And studies have shown that those genes, that genetic situation right there, can make up your gut microbiome. And that's not to say your gut microbiome can't change and that certain things can't impact it and influence it, which is a great thing. It's a great thing because we can change it for the better. But it's interesting to me. It blows my mind to wonder like what food choices were being made. You know, we never really focused so much on how that would impact your newborn baby's gut health. It blows my mind, but I'm a little bit of a geek with that stuff. So it's very cool. It's very heavily influenced from your genetic pool. But also there are a lot of just like daily things that can impact your gut health. So obviously your dietary choices that you make can dramatically impact your gut health. And I do want to say it's going to be a little bit, there are general recommendations for foods that can help gut health, and I can discuss those. But again, there's going to be some more specific recommendations. For example, if someone had Crohn's disease, there's going to be certain foods and things they obviously need to avoid that can be higher markers for inflammation in the gut. For instance, I have seen a lot of recent research about Crohn's disease and possibly avoiding gluten for that. And that's not to say that someone has celiac disease. It's not to say someone's even allergic to wheat, but they have found the inflammation that's caused from eating gluten can actually exacerbate Crohn's symptoms. So there's a lot of different information out there. So not only food choices can definitely impact your gut, but your day-to-day life, the stressors, and how stressful of a life you live, how high stress you feel. And let me just take you to a stressful situation. Let's think about a time when maybe you had to do like a presentation and maybe you're not good at public speaking. Clearly that's not one of my issues, but maybe you're going on a first date, or maybe you're going to a job interview, and you know that feeling you get, like those nerves, that butterfly effect you get in your stomach when you're just like, woo, like I'm nervous, this is new, this is different. And, let's be real, you got a little bit of diarrhea, it happens. Those nerves kick in, and that stress, it can quickly impact your body and the way it responds. And I think you guys can all think of a scenario where your body reacts that way. So think about if you're someone that just has this chronic stress in your life, and take it a step further, if you're someone that has a medical issue like IBS or Crohn's or any of those things that causes a constant stressor, that constant inflammation within the body, that's definitely going to impact your gut, your digestion, your ability to absorb nutrients properly, your ability to maintain your immune system and fight off carcinogens and keep your whole body healthy. So just stress in general is mind-boggling how much it impacts the whole body, but it really does impact the gut. Sleep as well. Sleep can impact it. And I also mentioned too antibiotic use, and that's something they've heavily studied now, and more integrative, holistic type practitioners, that's something they focus heavily on. And I tend to ask my clients this question as well. I like to ask about their use of antibiotics under the age of 20, because there is research that really shows kids, young kids, and throughout your teens, adolescence, antibiotic use can heavily impact that gut microbiome, that as an adult, as a young adult, what you're currently living with, and how that could even contribute to some of those chronic, illnesses, some of those inflammatory diseases. So all those things can greatly impact you. The other thing I want to mention too is mental health. And this is something very new to me that I'm very interested in researching more, especially because I work in mental health in a psychiatric hospital, but there's a huge link now with gut health and your mental health. Anxiety, depression, related to your gut health and your gut microbiome. And it's one of those things that's kind of like what came first, the chicken or the egg. And I'm not sure that the verdict is really out yet on which it is, but there's direct links between those two things. The gut's nervous system, or kind of second brain within our body, as I mentioned, is made up of tons of neurons, and it really does dictate in our body how things are going to work. So it really dictates digestion and absorption and elimination, all of those things separately than what's going on up here. And our vagus nerve does help to kind of transmit those messages to each other, but really our brain doesn't like to dictate our gut brain. It doesn't like to micromanage that. So with the gut brain, that gut nervous system is telling our body it's gonna do. So if you think about a time when you're sick and you're gonna vomit and throw up, you can't talk yourself out of that. It's happening. Your gut says it's go time. Elimination is taking place. I know that sounds kind of gross, but it's just kind of better understanding how these things work within our body. And some of that stress within the gut, if you're having that chronic stress there, and that brain stress really within the gut, can cause quite a conflict in the body with those messages. And like I said, they're not sure yet if that is what can cause anxiety and depression, but there's some definite links there with mental health and gut health. So, a question to you guys while you're watching this video, if you clicked on it, you obviously have some interest in it, but kind of think about what your gut health is like. I like you guys to personalize this stuff when I'm talking about it and kind of think about how it impacts you, and maybe it's something you've never thought about before, if your gut health is in good shape or not. So now I want to switch gears, giving you kind of that basic overview of gut health and talk about some of the things you can do on a general level to improve your gut health. One of the first tips I want to give you, and many of you are probably already doing this if you're subscribed to this channel, but if not, here is just another reason for you guys to continue on your fitness journey, and that is committing to exercise. Movement in general is found to be extremely helpful for your colon health, for your bowel regularity, and can be really helpful for folks with IBS, actually. So a lot of research does support the need to move and to find ways to be more active and commit to some type of workout routine and make those behavior changes where it's actually part of your lifestyle, where you're making sure you're getting physical and you're moving around. And it's a chronic issue we have in the hospital, you can have in a hospital, or as people age. I'm talking geriatric population, and they don't move much anymore. They struggle with constipation, and your gut can really be impacted by that. So the more you move, if that's not motivation for you, like if you're feeling a little backed up, get out there and get moving, get some exercise in. The next tip for you is something that should be basic, but I think it's something we all have to be reminded of, and that's to chew your food and chew it thoroughly. And I don't know how mindful we are of this anymore. I think when we're kids, like our parents try to teach us to slow down and chew your food and don't talk with your mouth open and all that good stuff. And then as we age, we do whatever. Are we even paying attention when we eat anymore? Are we multitasking? This is almost 2017. We live in a world where we have to multitask. So with that, less chews, it's quicker. It doesn't take as long. You can get more work done. But really, to slow down and chew your food nice and thoroughly will help assist in the digestion process. Your gut will thank you for that. It will alleviate any issues you could have if you're not really breaking down the food properly in that process that takes place first thing in your mouth when digestion starts. You need to be chewing your food thoroughly. My next tip for you is try to de-stress. And this tip is just a good life tip, and it's definitely one that's easier said than done. It's something I try to remind myself of on the daily, but it is something that can really impact your gut health, as I mentioned. Making sure you're taking that time to relax and kind of be within your body and calm down a little bit. Meditation is found to be very helpful. I mentioned this in terms of decreasing inflammation. Inflammation and gut health are obviously, they're related. So doing what you can to take some time each day to relax, de-stress, do a little meditation. Maybe it's even just some stretching at the end of the day, first thing in the morning when you get up. You deserve those 5 to 10 minutes to take the time to yourself, don't talk to anyone, whether you have kids, a family, whoever you have around. You deserve that time to de-stress and just be more present in your body. And, I think that's really critical, a really critical prevention tactic for anyone that's like, I've got good gut health, I'm set, I'm solid. No, we need to be taking preventative measures, which I know we live in a world of Western medicine where it's all about treating the issue, treating the complication, but we need to be more proactive and preventative. And part of why I'm passionate with this channel is trying to help people catch things earlier on, to be more preventative. So anything you can do to de-stress on a daily basis, even if it's on a weekly basis, give yourself something to look forward to. You deserve it. Reward yourself somehow in some way that helps you feel good. Whether it's like reading a book or taking a hot bath or whatever you need to feel good. Another tip I'd have for you is taking a probiotic. Again, this is something that's not necessarily generally recommended as a preventative measure unless you've already had identified gut issues, but I also don't think it's been ruled out that it's a bad thing to be taking a probiotic. So probiotic is just essentially that good bacteria. You're consuming it and putting it back into the gut. And certainly there's tons of foods, well, not tons, but there's a good amount of foods you can get probiotics from, but not necessarily in a large enough quantity of that probiotic strain, the amount that you need of those live active cultures. So looking for a good probiotic can be helpful if you're someone that wants to go that avenue. I don't really have specific brand recommendations for you. What I would say is usually looking for one that's a refrigerated one is going to be a better bet. Making sure that it has things like lactobacillus in it and all those other fun, long, hard to pronounce names. And in general, I would just say try it out for anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks. And if you're seeing improvement, great. Everyone's gut microbiome is different. So just because one probiotic someone swears by, your favorite Fitspo swears by this probiotic, doesn't mean it's going to help your gut. Everyone's gut is super different. So if it doesn't work for you, try another one. Sometimes it's just trial and error. Another tip I have for you is let's take a look at it and keep an eye on it. And what I mean by that is I'm talking about your bowel movements, folks. You got to take a look at it. And that's one way to assess your gut health. And it sounds creepy, but people take a look at their poop. That's all I'm asking you to do is take a little look-see in there, see how things are looking. There's different, depending on what it looks like, I'm not going to go through. If you want me to do a whole poop video, I'm going to ask you to like this video and comment below. I'll do a whole poop talk for you, okay? But in general, there's different colors, shapes, sizes, and different indicators there that can indicate different diseases or different things that might be occurring. And there's different signs for just like a good healthy poop, like a good healthy gut poop. Okay, so take a look at that and see what's going on. If there's any like real crazy scary issues, that may be a time you want to call and see a specialist. But that is another area you can assess. Now, in terms of specific dietary recommendations, one of the things I would say, if you are someone that's actively struggling, you're actively having symptoms of bad digestion and poor gut health, the first thing I'm going to tell you to do is obviously go to a doctor, but the best thing you can do, because this is such an individualized thing, I would ask you to keep a food journal and just track what foods you're eating, what time of day, and it takes a lot of time to do this, I realize, but it's so helpful for your practitioners that you're working with and even for yourself because they may want to put you on an elimination diet. So the best thing you can do is keep track of the foods that you're eating and write down any symptoms that you're having, within the first 30 minutes of that food, afterwards, and see if you can notice any patterns there. Like I said, it's really common for doctors to put you on an elimination diet with gut issues. That's very common to kind of help remove everything, get the gut healthy again, and then start adding things back in to see how you respond. But you might be able to kind of combat that and just in the beginning start tracking and try to like tease out what symptoms you're having and where. Obviously, some of the best foods for gut health are going to be whole foods, high fiber foods, fruits and vegetables, whole grains. Having foods that are high in, like vegetables that are high in sulfur, like your cruciferous vegetables are really great. Things like bananas are really great. Fermentable foods, which is something I am not very good at, but like the kombucha drinks, if I'm saying that right, you can school me, but those have like those fermentable properties in it, which are really good for your gut health. And then the other things you might want to do too if you're experiencing some gut issues, the first thing you can do is definitely, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but cut back on caffeine, eliminate the caffeine, and eliminate the alcohol. Those should be the first two things that you eliminate from your diet, from your daily intake if you are experiencing gut issues. So that's just kind of a basic overview of gut health with there's tons of more tips and different food things I could go into, but I kind of just wanted to get the ball rolling with this video, see what the interest is. Let me know if it's helpful. Share this video with others because gut health is such a huge topic. I could probably do a whole YouTube series on gut health, and I do plan on one of my 2017 goals as part of my registered dietitian requirements. I have to do continuing education, and part of my plan is to get a certificate in integrative and functional nutrition. So a huge component of that is gut health and doing more preventative techniques. So I'm really excited to do that, and if I do that and you guys are interested, I could probably do a whole separate YouTube series playlist on that. So let me know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to take care of your gut, keep it healthy, have a happy healthy holiday, and I'll see you in the next one.